Have you noticed that the days now feel shorter? We do not feel the joy that we used to feel when we were small kids. When we were small kids, we used to come from school and then we used to play and the days were long and we felt that the days are quite long. We used to feel quite joy when we were small kids. But now that we are adults and we are old, we feel that time is passing very quickly. We do not have the track of time. We cannot track time correctly. We think that the days are smaller. We think that time passes fast. And some people attribute this by saying that the days now feel shorter as it is small percentage of our life. For example, when you were 2 years old, 1 year was 50% of your life. But now that you are 20 years old, 1 year is just 5% of your life. But that is not the true picture, is it? The true picture, the true reality of this is that the time is getting away faster due to social media, due to our habits, and that is very much debatable. And I can tell you why it is and why the days, they do not feel shorter just because you are old now. They feel shorter because of social media. We humans like to attribute, we humans try to rationalize what knowledge we have with reality, but no, the reality is something different. So let me tell you why your days are feeling shorter and why the social media has destroyed our attention span and our brain, our nervous system. So let me tell you. Early social media. If we talk about social media in 2009, 2010, in 2011, then we can talk about a lot of things about social media in that time. And the contrast between social media at that time and the social media now is quite big. So let me tell you, the social media in 2009, 10, 11. The social media during that time was quite long form. We used to sit and we used to watch content. It was not like we are just scrolling on our phones like we do today. It was just that we used to consume content that was long, that had information, that was not passive like it is today. It sure was passive if we compare it to doing something on ourselves, but if we talk about content, the content of that time was very long. The videos were 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, compared to now the videos are 2-3 minutes. During that time, the videos were unedited. There were no filters, there was no editing. The videos were just one take or maybe 2-3 cuts. People used to have good attention span during that time. Social media was intended for connection during that time. And see what social media is doing right now. Social media is burning connections right now. We spend most of our times on our phones. We think that we are busy, but no, average human is not busy nowadays. Average human is just watching phones for entertainment. That is the reality. That is what is happening. During that time, in 2009, the content used to had some value. It had some satisfaction after watching it. If you came home from a stressful day, from working all day, then you would find it very pleasant to watch content. You might think that social media is like this accidentally. But no, it is not accidental. Everything of it, every single bit of it was planned from top to bottom. Everything was planned beforehand. You were just a puppet in the matrix. You are just in the matrix. You are trapped in it and you have to escape it somehow. There is not much time. If you watch social media like this, if you consume content regularly like this, then your brain would be trained to like it, and then it would be very hard to escape. So the escape has to be made as early as possible, in as less executable steps as possible. Because if you don't do it now, then tomorrow it could be very late for yourself, and we have to do it somehow. Everything that I would tell in this video would be very hard to listen because truth is very harsh. I do not people please. I do not tell you things that would make you happy. I do not make massy content. I make things that would work in reality. I make things that would improve you. So if you want to continue further down this video, then you have to keep in mind that you need to be different than people, then you need to be different from the masses. So if you continue this video, please make sure that you have strong willpower and you do not complain about the things that are true and that makes you unhappy. The social media now. In 2019, in 2020, social media reached its peak. With the rise of TikTok, the TikTok had taken over the generation's mind. People were on TikTok, people were making content on TikTok in India especially, and people were mindless. They forgot the time, and that is why it is said that after 2020, time passes quickly. No, time is not passing quickly. We just feel it that way because of social media. With the rise of TikTok, our attention span decreases. TikTok uses a special mechanism that is hook your brain in 3 seconds. When you see a new reel, your brain is stimulated. And when our brain is stimulated, we perceive time as small. We do not perceive time as well. And social media hooks our brain, especially TikTok. Now that TikTok is banned, we have Instagram Reels. It is doing the same thing. We have YouTube Shorts. It is doing the same thing. They just destroy your brain. You think of content as something that you watch to pass your time, but no, you are not passing your time. The psychologist behind social media, especially Instagram, they have trained the algorithm to make content that would ruin your brain and they would maximize the profit. They want to maximize the retention. That is the reason social media is like that. Now, if you go on YouTube, you would not see long videos. You would be seeing a lot of short form videos. And those short form videos and those short form content, they make your brain weak. Especially because the reason is short form content, it doesn't have the value. It doesn't have value in it. Just think for yourself. How much can you learn in 30 seconds? How much can you learn in 60 seconds? You are not learning anything in that time. You are just seeing the content, and that content is quite weak in itself. And that is the reality. That is the true core reality of this thing. Now, what is the actionable step? What are the actionable steps to avoiding the addiction to social media? First of all, what we have to do is we have to do boredom training. What is boredom training? If you are sitting in a room, we might try to study, we might try to do different things, but we have to get bored. If we are not bored, the brain forgets the contrast between happy and sad. Just think it yourself. If you are happy every time, then you forget what being sad is like. You forget being happy is like. Because if you are happy every time, you do not know what being sad is. And to know emotions, we need to know the contrast between them. So if you are stimulated every time, you do not know how it feels to be stimulated because you have not seen boredom. And that is the reason why we need to see boredom. We have to do active learning. What does active learning means? Active learning means nothing, but it means that if you are consuming a piece of content, you have to create after it. That forces our brain to be developed. That forces our brain to pose active learning, which is really good if we think about it. And that is what we have to do. The last is dopamine detox. Dopamine detox is the method to train your brain's dopamine baseline to set lower so that we enjoy lives more. How you have to do dopamine detox? You have to basically just quit your phone for a few days. And after that, you would have to use it really unregularly and really less. That is how you fix your brain's dopamine system, and that is how you escape the social media.